going on, guys? So, I'm gonna have a little cautionary tale before we start this video. It might be an omen. I don't know. But I just gotten a fresh full cup of God's love and had it sitting here on the table, and as I was getting ready to start recording, I bumped the table and spilled about a quarter of it all over the table because it knocked the cup sideways. Fortunately, we saved most of it, but a quarter of it ended up on the table, on the floor. I don't know if that's a bad omen or not for starting this video out, but it is what it is. I've bounced this around in my head a dozen different ways of trying to figure out how to say it and approach it, but you know me, I like to just kind of go off the cuff and we just talk about it as we talk about it. There's a lot going on in the world right now. As of the moment I'm recording this video, and you should already know all this, but on the off chance that somebody's watching it and doesn't, at the time I'm recording this video, we've got things still going sideways over in Ukraine. We've got various entities getting stupider by the hour here in the continental U.S. We've got a very contentious election coming up in a couple of weeks. We have decimated and depleted our military, both equipment-wise, money-wise, troop-wise. We are bankrupting the country, sending money that we do not have overseas, specifically to Ukraine and other places, that we have no business sending it. We have approximately 20-something days. Last count a couple of days ago was about 25. I'm sure it's less than that now. But 20-something-ish days left nationwide of available diesel fuel. Now that's not what's in production or anything like that. That's actually produced and available to put into fuel tanks. Strategic Petroleum Reserve is at like a 50-year low and getting lower by the day because people in charge are idiots. China's making some very ominous looking moves if you're watching closely to what's happening there. I mean, it just goes on, right? And it's easy to get overwhelmed. We've talked about that before. It's easy to get overwhelmed with all the stuff that's going on. By the way, you should be getting very little of your news and information from the mainstream media. Just saying. What I want to caution you about is what information you buy into and how hard you buy into it. Because there's a lot of stuff that flies around and gets to floating around out there, and you've all seen it before where stuff gets shared and passed around that ends up being not accurate. It's a thing. Sometimes it's just completely unintentional, and other times I know for a fact it's completely intentional. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. I'm going to tell you what I do. Okay? You make your own decision. Here's what I do. I have certain sources that are known entities to me that I know and that I explicitly trust. Outside of those, everything is up for question. Now, there are other entities at the other end of that scale that I know of that if they told me this cup of coffee was hot, I wouldn't believe it. Okay? I would automatically assume that it's got ice crystals in it. So I got my people that I completely trust, that I know. I've got the people that I absolutely do not trust. Everything else falls into the, you've probably heard it before, not even the trust but verify category, more of the take note of and verify category, if that makes sense. No matter how wild or crazy or out there something is, if it's in that category, I don't automatically dismiss it, but I also don't automatically believe it and file it away as fact. I try to wait until I can verify it with other known sources, or if I start seeing enough sources repeating it and it not getting refuted, that I can start adding weight and credence to it. Or maybe it's just information that I don't necessarily buy into it, but I don't dismiss it either. We're just going to file it away in the that's interesting box and see if something else comes up down the road that connects with it, right? And pieces start fitting. But be careful of what you believe and buy into just wholesale that people put out there. Ooh, excuse me. Barometric pressure just changed. Sometimes people are going to intentionally put bad information out there. Sometimes people will unintentionally put bad information out there. It's easy to see something come across a headline somewhere and be like, oh my God, that's it, and just, totally panic and lose it. I've seen people do it. I would encourage you to avoid doing that. When it's time to lock and load, batten down the hatches, run up the colors, and prepare to repel boarders, I feel pretty confident in saying that it will be clear and obvious to you. There will be no question, no doubt whatsoever. It'll be clear to everybody. So don't let yourself get wrapped up and all into a tizzy with the latest bit of information that might come out on things. Be paying attention. Be cautious. Don't stop making plans and preparing. You should be doing that all the time anyway. But do it with a sense of assurance and confidence that you're doing what you can to prepare, you're doing what you can to make plans, and you're enjoying life in the meantime. Pay attention to things that are going on. Keep a wary eye on things. But also be very cautious of your sources that you buy into, right? So, informational caution. Just be diligent. There are some people that mean well, but absolutely do not know what they're talking about. There are some people that mean well that just repeat things, and the stuff that gets repeated is either unintentionally not accurate or, as I said previously, intentionally inaccurate. Do not put it out of the realm of reality that there are entities out there that will intentionally put out bad information for various reasons. Too many to even try to go into in this little video. I would urge you, stay steady on getting ready, especially on things like your food and water and medical supplies and soft goods, for lack of a better word, like clothing, stuff like that. You should be doing everything you can do that's within your, physical and fiscal power to build up those stocks. Now, again, even when you're building up those stocks, you got to be realistic about, can you adequately and safely store it, protect it. Be realistic about the amounts and numbers of what you need to take care of yourself and your family, friends, whoever. Like, for example, if your intention is not to stay at your home, it's to go somewhere else, then you'll probably want half to 2/3 of, say, your food at your other location where you plan on being at. You still need a fair amount at home, because maybe you might not get to leave and go where your other location's at. You never know. Lots of variables that can happen. So diversify. I guess that's probably the one-word way of saying everything that I just said and was going to say. Diversify your storage and things that you've got. But primarily, be careful of the information. Be very slow to dismiss things, but also be very slow to just wholesale buy into things. Try to get as much verification on things as you can. I'll give you an example. Let's say it comes out, somebody shares it on social media somewhere, that they heard or have it on good authority that you need to fuel up your vehicles and your gas cans and get all the stored gas you can in the next 48 hours, right? Before you drop everything you're doing and run out the door and go fill up all your vehicles and fill up every milk jug you can find with gas, don't do that. That's bad. That's very bad. Don't do that. I use that as a metaphor. Try to look for a little more confirmation, right? Like, okay, why do we need to go do that right now? Is there something fixing to happen to the fuel supply? If so, what kind of confirmation can I get on that? Can I find multiple sources? Can I find sources repeating it that I know I trust, etc., etc. Don't just buy into it right away, but at the same time, as, again, broken record, don't just, whatever, that's stupid, I ain't going to worry about that. Because, unfortunately, there's a lot of crying wolf that goes on out there, but we can't be in a position to ever dismiss that. We have to pay attention every time somebody cries wolf, because one time might be the one time that it's legit and real. That's why you try to maintain that equilibrium and balance. Don't let yourself get swayed too far one way or the other. Informational caution. Just be careful, be pragmatic, think things through. Pay attention to what you're seeing. Try to find verification. All the things. You know it. All right. Enough yammering. Just something that was on my mind and I wanted to throw out there to you guys. Maybe it'll give you something to ponder about over a good cup of coffee. That one's almost empty. I will talk to you guys later. Stay safe. Keep getting ready. I'll see you later.